Road trips are grand adventures, which can take you anywhere your vehicle can travel. From the sandy beaches of Southern California to the Boardwalk in Atlantic City, and everywhere in between. The possibilities are endless. Although having a ventilator means you may have to plan a little bit more and take a few extra supplies with you, it does not mean you have to stay home and miss the fun. Join me this week as I discuss some tips and tricks to enjoying a road trip while using a ventilator. While on the road, you'll want to bring along all your extra supplies. I always have a special designated bag that has all my ventilator equipment in it, and this way it's very easy to find well in the car. One thing you'll need is extra tubing. You also need your extra connectors, such as this, which will look something like this. I'll also bring an extra Omniflex, which is something like this. You will also want to bring several of these, it's called HMEs, and I'll explain what these are a little bit later in the video. And of course, you want extra air filters. Air filters get very dirty on the roadway, so you want at least one, but maybe two of them. And of course, extra heater humidifier chamber that will go onto your heater humidifier. These do have a tendency to break, and they're just not very sturdy, so you probably want to bring at least one of these extra. When you're on the road, you may also need to do a tracheostomy exchange, so please bring along an extra trach tube, and then anything else you need to do the tracheostomy exchange, such as a trach tube tie, gauze, scissors, lubricant jelly, and anything else you use to change out your tracheostomy tube. One thing you also want to consider when traveling is when you have the regular tubing like this, your tubing may be special, might have wires like this one does, and it also has an external wire which goes and plugs into the heater humidifier, and there's also some other wires on the end. This is very convenient when you're at home, but when you're on the roadway and you're not going to be using your heater humidifier, this is going to be a very cumbersome setup. So one thing I've learned is that there's other tubing, such as this. This tubing is pretty identical to this one, except there's no wires inside, there's no connectors or anything, and this just will plug directly into your ventilator, versus this one has to go into a heater humidifier. From the heater humidifier, this one will go into your ventilator. And I'll just show you how you do that. So as you can see, this gray tubing goes all the way to the heater humidifier, and so this is going to be unnecessary when you're on the roadway. You're going to simply just disconnect, connect this one, connect that one up, and then you're just going to easily switch out the two ends. So you just switch out the two, and now you have the new tubing connected, and it's just going to go directly to your ventilator, skipping your heater humidifier. One thing also to note when you're on the roadways, please try to disassemble some of your equipment. I know it might be really convenient to keep everything all together, and you think, oh, I have my heater humidifier, I'll keep some water in the chamber. Please don't do this. This heater humidifier is very unstable, and it'll tip over in the car, and if you have any water or anything in it, the water will tip out. It potentially could damage your heater humidifier. It can just also get everything else wet in your car, so please take the water out of your water chamber and then also disconnect and disassemble everything. This way, if anything shifts or falls over in the car, it will lessen the likelihood that anything will get damaged. One of the most important things to know before heading out on the roadway is how long your ventilator battery will last and what power sources you will have available while traveling. Before you begin your road trip, do a test run on your ventilator to find out how long your batteries will last. I use a Trilogy 100 ventilator. This has two batteries. There's an internal one, and then there's also an external one on the back, which can come out like that. Together, these two are guaranteed by the manufacturer to last 6 hours combined. However, I found from my own experience that together they will last approximately 8 hours. So do your own research and try it out in a ventilator. You may be able to get more than 6 hours on the batteries, which is fantastic. There are also several options for power while on the road. Some durable medical equipment companies will be able to supply you with an extra external battery. This will give you another 3 to 4 hours of battery life. They also have larger external batteries that will also just snap into the back of your ventilator, and those can last up to 12 hours. So please consult with your durable medical equipment company to find out what type of external batteries they have available. Another option is to have a power charger like this. This plugs into your cigarette lighter in the car, and then this plugs into the back of your ventilator. This is wonderful to have. Whenever you're in the car, you can simply plug in and this will charge up your battery and it won't drain your battery. And anytime you have to leave, then again, you can go back onto your battery source. This is really wonderful. Ask your durable medical equipment company if they have this so you can charge while on the road. Another option is many of the newer cars have electrical outlets in them. Now, please consult the owner's manual, but most cars are able to run the Trilogy 100 machine off the battery in the car. But please consult the owner's manual to make sure of this. One thing to also check is if you have a heater humidifier. Most cars cannot power the heater humidifier. If you will damage the car, so please don't do that. But larger vehicles such as RVs and trucks and buses, some of these larger vehicles, they are able to power your heater humidifier, so please check on the owner's manual to see what you can and cannot plug into the electrical outlet on your vehicle. When traveling on the road, it is hard to keep your lungs hydrated. Most heater humidifiers do not have a battery backup. This means anytime you're on the road, you'll be breathing cold, dry air. To prevent your lungs from drying out, you'll want to attach a device called an HME, which stands for a heat and moisture exchanger. Now this has a little sponge inside, so anytime you breathe, it will catch the moisture that you breathe out, and then when you breathe back in, it rehydrates the air that's coming back in. This little device is wonderful to have while on the roadway. Once you arrive at your destination for the night, you can also rehydrate your lungs more quickly by inhaling saline through a nebulizer. Now, nebulizer will come in something like this box, or it'll look something like this machine. This is something most durable medical equipment companies will supply if you have a tracheostomy and a ventilator. However, if they don't supply this, you can buy it at a pharmacy or online for approximately $25 to $30. For the saline, you can use these little vials that your durable medical equipment company will provide for the suction machine. If you don't have these provided, you can also buy the box of them for approximately 100, or there's approximately 100 of these. They're about $12 at the pharmacy. If you don't have either of those, or if you just have a lot of these saline flushes around, you can use these saline flushes too. They're the same thing. You can just break it open and put it into the nebulizer. No, I find when I arrive at the destination, I use approximately 2 of these, which is about 10 milliliters. And once I run 10 milliliters through the nebulizer, my lungs are hydrated and I'm feeling well, and it's a good night's sleep ahead. While traveling, you will be breathing cold, dry air. This will cause you to become quite cold yourself. I found even in the summertime, I often have to wear a jacket to keep warm. Also, it may be helpful to place your ventilator tubing underneath your jacket, something like this. And this way, all the air you're exhaling will be warm air, will be trapped underneath your jacket. And this will help any air that's traveling into your lungs to be warmed up by the exhalation air. Another tip is if you have an electrical outlet in your vehicle and you have a heating pad, plug in the heating pad. Then find someplace on your tubing that's away from the exhalation valve and simply wrap the heating pad around your tubing like this. And once the heating pad warms up, this will warm the air that's traveling into your lungs. One thing to note, please do not block the exhalation valve. If you block the exhalation valve, you will not be able to exhale yourself. Also in the summertime, if you have the air conditioning on in your vehicle, please do not place your ventilator directly underneath the air conditioning vent. Remember, all the air from your ventilator is just being sucked right into your ventilator, and it's going to go right into your lungs, and it's going to be very cold and very dry. So please keep your ventilator away from the air conditioning vents. If you must, put your ventilator near the air conditioning vents simply because this is the only place it'll work in your vehicle. Take a blanket and then place the blanket over the ventilator, and then this will help create a little barrier zone, and it'll help prevent that cold, dry air from being directly sucked into your ventilator and goes directly into your lungs. There are a few other items I like to pack for the road. One item I like to bring along is an extension cord. Some accommodations have few electrical outlets or have few outlets near the bed. I need 2 electrical outlet plugs. I need one for my ventilator and one for my heater humidifier. I find an extension cord provides a little extra peace of mind, knowing wherever I stay the night, I'll be able to plug in my ventilator. A second item which is invaluable is duct tape. You never know when something might break and you need something a little strong and adhesive to hold everything together. A third item I like is liquid dishwashing soap. Sometimes your tubing may fall into a puddle or fall into a dirty floor. Liquid dishwashing soap is really convenient to wash out your medical equipment while traveling. A fourth item I bring is a gallon of distilled water. Now you need the distilled water for your heat or humidifier chamber. I usually only bring a gallon because I know once I get to my destination, I can simply go out to the store, go out to the pharmacy and buy more distilled water. And lastly, another thing I do is I bring along all the information I need to contact my durable medical equipment company. This is just in case I need to contact them in case of emergency. If you're going on a longer trip, it may be worthwhile to let your durable medical equipment company know that you'll be away on a trip. They may have their own suggestions of what to do in case of an emergency with your ventilator or in case you need urgent medical supplies. Remember, no trip is ever perfect. Whatever happens, keep a positive mindset. If something breaks on your ventilator and you have to travel out of your way to fix the problem, or if you become sick and need to visit the hospital, do not get upset or frustrated. Look at it as an unplanned side adventure, one in which you will see new sights and meet new people. Remember, many times the best memories are the ones you never intended to make. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. I hope you have a wonderful week and a great day. Happy travels!